Okay, this is the coupling part and behind the cab part of the pre-trip inspection for the state of Illinois. You want to mention your fuel tanks, properly mounted, secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. My straps are properly mounted, secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. The rubber between the straps are present and soft and pliable. There's not missing any nuts or bolts. The back part of the cab is overall appearance is fine. My exhaust is properly mounted, secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no signs of soot, which would indicate an exhaust leak. Okay. Now, I'm going to check my catwalk. Make sure it's properly mounted, secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. I'm going to go ahead and check my air lines while I'm here. My air lines are properly mounted and secure. There's no bulges, abrasions, or cuts in my air lines. This is my electrical line. It's not ripped, frayed, torn, or excessively worn. And there's no illegal tape. So now I'm going to check my glad hands. Make sure my glad hands are properly mounted, secure. These are your glad hands. They have two rubber garments inside each glad hand. One connects to the trailer, one connects to the glad hand. They're both present and soft and pliable. My electrical line is plugged in securely to the pigtail of the trailer. It's all good there. No, you can see there's no arcing or not ripped, frayed, torn. Okay, so go ahead and check my my drive shaft here. It's properly mounted, secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. There's no excessive amount of play. My U-bolts are properly mounted, secure. They're not cracked, bent, or broken, and they're lubed properly. Okay, I'm gonna check my my torsion bar is properly mounted, secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not missing any nuts or bolts. So, and I go ahead and check my drive line, drive shaft all the way back to the rear end. Make sure they're all properly mounted, secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing nuts or bolts. Now, my shocks on both sides are properly mounted, secure. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no signs of an oil leak, which would indicate a bad shock. Now, my airbags, you can see them on the outside here. My airbags are properly mounted, secure. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no audible signs of leaks, and there's no dry rotting or anything going on the airbag there. So we're going to go ahead and check our frame, make sure it's properly mounted, secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no illegal welds or man-made holes on the frame. Now, we'll go ahead and check my mud flap or my splash guard, whatever you want to call it, quarter fender. Make sure it's properly mounted, secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken, and it's not missing any nuts or bolts. So I want to go ahead and check in here. I'm going to check the same way I did on the front of the truck. Make sure my U-bolts are properly mounted, secure. They're not cracked or broken, and the nuts are securely mounted. We'll check my springs. Make sure they're properly mounted, secure. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no signs of scissoring. And my spring hangers are properly mounted, secure. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. Not missing any nuts or bolts. I'm going to go ahead and check my push rod tube and my slack adjuster. Make sure it's properly mounted, secure. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no more than an inch of play. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and check my wheel seal on the inner rim and make sure it's not leaking. Properly mounted, secure. It's not cracked or broken. I'm going to check my brake drum. Make sure it has no cracks. Properly mounted, secure. Not broken. I'm going to check my pads. Make sure they're properly mounted, secure, and they're not more than dangerously thin, no less than a 1/4 inch of pad. Now, I'm going to check the inner rim. Make sure it's properly mounted, secure. There's no illegal welds or man-made holes. The rim is properly seated to the bead of the tire all the way around. The inner part of the tire, there's no bulges, abrasions, or cuts. The tire itself has no more than 2 2 30-seconds tread, no less than 2 30-second tread. I'm sorry, has no less than 2 30-seconds. It can be a recap. I'm going to check the inner, both sides of the tire here, the inner tire, make sure there's no bulges, abrasions, or cuts. I'm also going to check between my duals here to make sure that there's no gaps in them and that there's not a brick or any rocks inside there. Same way here, I'm going to make sure it has at least 2 30-seconds tread. Check the outside, make sure there's no bulges, abrasions, or cuts. Make sure I'm properly seated to the bead of the rim. I'm going to check the rim itself and make sure there's no illegal holes or man-made welds on that. I'm going to check the lug nuts to make sure they're secure. I'm going to check and make sure there's no signs of oxidation or rust streaks, which would indicate a loose nut. Now, I'm going to go ahead and check my valve stem, make sure it is metal and it has a valve stem and it's aired up to at least 95 to 105 PSI. And also, I'm going to check my hub oil, but I'm going to check it through the rear end, make sure it's filled. So that pretty much covers everything on your coupling. Next thing we'll talk about is our connection.